Everyone, it's Jackie with Paper Moments, and I wanted to come on and show you the awesome collection that I will be creating with for my next project for Country Craft Creations. I will be using Authentique Youngster collection, which is a little boy adorable collection. So it's really in a really pretty, I'm going to say it's a teal color. It's a muted teal with the lime green and the light blue and some little bit of shades of darker blue. And it's adorable. It's absolutely adorable. So these are the Authentiques cut apart, not cut aparts, but they're the ephemera, and they're made from the cardstock, and they are fabulous to use when creating your mini albums or your cards and that. So this is just absolutely adorable. I don't know what else to tell you. I can't wait to begin my project with it. So these are the cut aparts. These are 3x4s, three 3x4s across. Then you got a 4x6 and two 3x4s, and again a 4x6 and two more 3x4s, and there's two sets of those. And these are the colors of this collection. Is that not, I don't know if you can see the blue. It looks a little bit darker on the camera right now, but it is like a teal. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. So, and then we're going to, we got this one, which is your Youngster 1, and then you've got your cameo on the back, which is really adorable. This one is your cream with your light teal cars, different cars on there, and then you've got your print here, and I don't know what you would call this, but it's like not a polka dot, but it's not diamonds, it's octagon squares type of thing, but it's pretty cool. Then you've got your Youngster 2, which is your Legos or your like Minecraft images here, graphics, and then polka dots on the back, puzzles. As you all know, if you have little boys or have been around little boys, they are a puzzle to understand at times, the way their little minds think. And then you've got your stripes, and again, another neat design. And then on the back, it's all the sports equipment. So you've got your football, your basketball, your soccer ball, fishing pole, baseball bat, baseball, a hockey puck, a hockey stick, a skateboard, a tennis racket, a ping pong paddle and ping pong balls. So it's really cute. And then I'm going to be using some Authentique Spectrum papers to go with it, which are the Limeade, the Robin's Egg, Crocodile Smile, and then Cobblestone. And I'm pairing this collection up with the Country Craft Creations Artesian cardstock in the brown, which I thought went really well with it. So that's what we're going to be using today for this project, and I will be creating a mini album that is going to be a 6x8, and the pages inside are going to be 5.5 by 7.5. To go along with the collection, I was also sent, of course, some seam binding that's going to match it beautifully, and then a package of enamel dots by Mindside from the Gingham Farm. But they're perfect. They match beautiful to the whole collection. So those will be used on the album, and everything that I've shown you, you can purchase at Country Craft Creations store, and that is www.countrycraftcreations.com. As also, if you've not joined Tammy's Facebook page, Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, please do. That's where you will find all of the designs free tutorials. And Tammy does tutorials I believe it's twice a week. She does a live tutorial. One on Authentique's page, and then one on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. And all our tutorials are free. Yeah, everything we use you can find in Tammy's store at countrycraftcreations.com. So, okay, so using the brown cardstock, we are going to cut 5 pieces of cardstock to make our pages, and we're going to cut those at 7.5 by 11.5. Now, I'm going to tell you that this album took 16 pieces of cards, 12 by 12 cardstock. So 1 pack of cardstock is all you're going to need, and then you're going to have about 10 pages, 9 pieces of cardstock left over in the pack for another project. So on your cardstock, once you've cut 5 pieces, 7.5 by 11.5, you're going to want to score them at 5.5 and at 11. Okay, so again, you want to score them at 5.5 and 11. And disregard the white markings on my paper here. I'm sure you can see it. I cut these upstairs, and I was using a different score forward and a different bone folder, and every time I did it, it left a white mark, and I couldn't figure out why. So, okay, so I already got 2 of the pages already glued together. So they are going to be a 5.5, like I said, by 7.5 page, and you're going to have 5 pages in your book, so a total of 10 pages, plus your front inside cover and your back inside cover. Once you've scored them, you want to fold them over on the score line and burnish them. And I'm going to be using art glitter glue to adhere my pages together. You can use whatever adhesive you feel more comfortable with. I love the art glitter glue, and that's another product you can get in Tammy's store. It dries clear, it dries fast, it bonds, and it doesn't come undone. You can use your score tape, your red line tape, whatever you wish. And what we're going to do is go ahead and get our pages together before we make the actual album cover. So on the 1/2 inch score down here, flap that you're making, you want to miter the corner on one side only. This side is going to attach to the hinge. This is going to be your open side. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my glue. It was working fine a minute ago, but because I'm on the camera now, it's not going to work. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm so sorry. Let's see if I can get this off. I got something clogging it somewhere. I think I found it. I apologize. Bear with me here just a second here. Yeah, I think I found it. Tell you what, if you don't put a stainless steel needle in these, they get nasty inside. And I've lost mine, and I didn't, and that's what's happened. So I have to clean it. And again, I apologize that I should have. It was working prior to going out live. I double checked it and everything. So, but I guess I should have taken the top off and really cleaned it out like I'm doing now. Alright, let's see if that works now. Alright, let's see. Okay. This is a clean tip, so I'm not sure now why. Other than making a big mess right here now with the glue. There we go. Okay, again, it never gives me this much of an issue, and that's only because I was typical bragging about it, and now it's going to show you that it can be a little pain at times, but never had that happen before, so. Alright, so matching your sides up together. And then we're going to go ahead and glue all of them down, and so they're done already. So you've got your pages there. Like I said, the side that is where you mitered the corner, that's going to be your opening for your photo mats. The other end that you did not miter is going to attach to the hinges. Okay. So we've got all our pages done and ready. And I'm going to run and get another pen real quick here so I can put it in my glove. All right, so let's get our pages going. So you've got 5 of these that you've already got them ready. Make sure they're all the miter edge is going to be on your right. Okay. So, for page 1, you're going to need to cut 2 pieces of your cardstock. And again, your scraps from when you cut your pages, you should have a 4.5 by 12 piece of scrap. So use that to cut these, your pages. Okay, so... And then you're also going to need 5 pieces of cardstock that are cut 5 by 7. So you can get 2 from a sheet and have that 5 inches by 12 left over to use as for your pages as well. So you need 5 of these, and these are going to be your inserts, your photo inserts. Into your pocket right there. Okay, so you're going to also have an insert there. And put those over there. So for the first page, we are going to cut a piece of cardstock that is 4.5 by 6 and a piece of cardstock that is 4 by 12. And then on your scraps, you need a 1 by 4. Okay? So on the first one, on the 4.5 by 6, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So you're actually making a pocket, is what you're making. Okay? And then you're going to go ahead and miter your corners. I'm going to bring the camera in just a little bit because the way I have it, you're not able to see what I'm doing. So you're going to miter your corners. Go ahead and burnish your corners. And taking with the right side here, you're going to go ahead and we're going to attach this pocket to the page. Now, you can, there's going to be pieces, parts of this that I'm going to not be able to glue on because I'm going to have to add my designer paper to it. But when you make a pocket like this, you can go ahead and glue it on when you have your 1/2 inch edges, because you still can slip your paper down in here. And your paper doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom. You can take your paper up only up to here because nobody's going to be able to see down in there. So save your paper. So you want to miter your corners as well, that when you fold them like this, they don't overlap, and that prevents the bulk. So as you can see, I've got room between both of mine. So go ahead and add your adhesive. I'm going to turn mine over around so I can actually see what I'm doing. And you just want to match sides up to sides, seam to side. Okay. And then you have your pocket. So your first page is going to be a pocket. Then the 4x12, you want to score that at 4 and 8. So you're going to take your 4x12, and you want to score it on the 4 and the 8. And what you're doing is you're making a little booklet, which will be able to sit inside your pocket like that. The 1x4 is going to come down here and make a little tuck pocket down here on the front of that. Don't glue that on because you want to paper your, put the designer paper on the back, put designer paper here, and then you'll glue it on the 3 sides to match it up, okay? And mine doesn't look like it's going to match up, so I'm going to have to trim that. Just a little bit, but it was off, so, and I don't want it to be off, I want it to be even. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, so I don't lose it, I've got my pocket, I'm just going to set this down inside the pocket here. Put this like this, I'm just going to put that in the pocket. Flip it over, that's the back of page 1 that we're going to be working on next. The back of page 1, back of page 1, you're going to want a 2 pieces cut, and you're going to take a piece 5x12, and you're going to score it at 6 right there. Fold it in half, so what you're doing is you're making a booklet, all right? Alright, and then you're going to take another 4.5 by Alright, I've already messed up because I don't remember what I was going to do on this. Hold on just a minute. It's crazy. And I didn't draw pictures, so I'm trying to think of what I did. Okay, I know what I did. Alright. 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 So, trying to go back and see what I did when I drew pictures of it, but I really didn't do a real good job of it, but I now remember what I did. Alright, so one piece 5 by 12 and one piece that's 4.5 by 5 3/4. So what we're doing is, this is going to be a pocket on here and a folio at the same time. So we're going to glue this part right here. So we're going to glue this part right here on the back of your book. Okay, this part right here, 3 sides. Just going to add a little bit of glue, and then you don't want to glue it now because of the fact that you want to put your designer paper down. So let me cut a piece of designer paper, because otherwise it's going to completely mess you up. So let me get that out here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the spectrum as a background, because there's not going to be a whole lot showing there. So my page is 5.5 by 7. So I'm gonna come down to 5 5/8. Cut 5 5/8 by 7 3/8. I'm going to put that on there. I don't have my ink down here, so I can't ink it up, which I'm going to have to do. But what I'm going to show you what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pretend like I've glued that on. Here's my 5.5 by 12. I'm going to add a thin layer of glue right along the 3 edges. And I'm just going to set this in the middle of it, where it's even. And my 4.5 by 5 3/4 is going to slide right in there once it's dried. Alright, I don't want to do it until it's dry. And then you're going to open this up. You're going to have these 2 areas for your landscape, and then to decorate, and then you're going to have this right here. So, I want to make sure that dries. Then I'm going to ink the edges of this, and I will glue it onto that page. Okay? So that's page 1. So let's move that out of the way. Page 2, grab you another sheet, another page that you've already prepared. And we will move on. Alright, So on page 2, you're going to need, I made a mess out of my ink, my glue. Sorry about that, guys. I am sitting here picking and playing with the glue. Okay, so you're going to need, on page 2, you're going to need a 2 inches by 6.5. So that's this one right here. And you're going to need a 3.5 by 6.5, and you're going to need another 2 by 6.5. You're also going to need a 5 by 5.5, 5 by 5.5 by 5.5, and a 6.5 by 5. So you need a 5.5 by 5 and a 6.5 by 5, and those are going to be photo mats. These are going to, you're actually going to use the 2 6 by 6.5 and the 3.5 by 6.5 to make pockets. So you want to come in on each one of these, which is your 2 inches by 6.5, and you want to score 1/2 inch on each one. And you want to do the same with the 3.5 by 6.5. So score it 1/2 inch each. Alright. Okay, so you're going to line the 3.5 by 5.5 up. Alright, so I want about that much from the top, maybe a little bit more, alright? And that's going to be my back pocket. This is going to be my middle pocket, so I'm going to line this up here. This is going to be my bottom pocket. So I want to move this down a little bit. I'm going to move this one down a little bit, and then I'm going to put this one back on top. So what I'm doing is creating 3 pockets. So I've got a pocket here, I've got a pocket here, and I've got a pocket here. Alright, so I'm using my lines on my board here to help guide me. And then I'm going to add my adhesive here. Line those up. That should give me one pocket. That's going to go all the way down here. This one going to go here. And then you're going to use this one. You're going to this one you're going to add a little bit of your glue on the bottom as well, or score tape. And you're just going to match it up to the side, all sides. You'll notice what I don't have down here is my handy wipes, right? Because I didn't bring them down. So we're just going to make a little tuck pocket there. We've got a full pocket on this one. This is gonna sit all the way down there. And then this one is gonna sit right here. Okay. So that's page 2. Page 2 and on the back of page 2. So I'm going to put this over here with page 1. Those are the ones. So on the back of page 2, you want to cut 2 5.5 by 6, and you want to score them at 1/2 inch on the top. And then you want a 5 by 6, and then you're going to cut a 5.5 by 7, and then you're going to cut it in the middle to make a diagonal. So what we're going to do is create our So I am going to miter both sides of these because they are the same size. Okay. Add my adhesive. Match it up side to side. And I have my flap. Then on this one, you want to score it a 1/2 inch on the 2 sides. Come down and miter your corners. Again, miter them a little bit more slanted so when you lay them down, fold them over, they're not touching each other, so it's going to give you a nice clean look and no bulk on it. And that you're just going to add right to the top of this one, to the top flap. Again, you don't have to put your designer paper down because you've got the 1/2 inch there that you can slide your paper in. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with this that we did with the other one and create another pocket. Now, this is going to be your opening up here, so you want to bring it a little bit closer to this. So you're going to be able to have this open, this comes down, and you can add even a little pocket here if you want, but I thought that would be a great place for landscape, for photos. And then you're going to, again, only do the 3 sides with the tape and create a pocket down here. All right. So I'm not going to glue this one down because I don't know if I want to use the design paper, if I'm going to use the Spectrum. So being that I used the Spectrum on the first one, so I want to wait on that. But that is too. So what you're going to do is then you'll have, like I said, let me get a piece of paper here. So once it's glued down, and this isn't the right size, but once it's glued down, you're also going to be able to have a photo mat that pulls out of there. Okay, so that's page 2. And moving on to page 3. Page 3, you want to have one piece of cardstock, cut it 7.5 by 5.5 and score it at 1/2 inch. All right. You're going to have another sheet that is piece that is a 5 by 6, and you're going to score it on a 1/2 inch as well, right there. Okay. So go ahead and miter your corners because of the fact that these are the same width as your page, and that way you will have a nice clean look to your page when you go to add your designer paper. Make sure that. And this one's going to sit right here. On this edge. So that's going to flip open. Okay. Again, miter your 2 corners on this side. Bring it up. Oops. So what we've created is a flap here. All right. Then you're going to need one piece that is a 5 by, oops, one piece that is 3 by 4.5. I'm sorry. One piece that is 3 by 5, which is your base. Okay. Then you're going to need to cut 3 3 by 4.5 and score them at 1/2 inch at the top. We're going to make a waterfall. You're also going to need 1 by 3 for your tab, and score it at 1/2 inch at the bottom. So these, you're not going to miter the corners. You're just going to leave them like they are, just like that. You're going to take and add your adhesive. And you're going to bring it and match it up edge to edge on your base piece. Okay. Take the next one. And line it up right to that edge of that other score line, or the 1/2 inch that you just put down. Just put it right up. And then matching your sides as well. And with the last one, you're going to do the same exact thing. Spread it up. Make sure your sides are meeting, they're even with one another, and you've got yourself a waterfall. So you're going to have a picture, 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 and then you're going to have a picture and another picture, and then you'll have another one here. This is the base. You're going to add your tab, or your little. Oops, I just put it on the wrong. I wasn't too smart. I put the. Okay, just get it up there as close as possible to the middle. And then you're going to add your adhesive to the whole back. And you're not going to do that right now because you want to put your designer paper down, so I just messed that up. So I don't really want that glue on there, but that's going to go right on here, is what it's going to do. Alright? And then you're going to have a magnet here to hold that down. So that was not too smart of me. So we'll just set that aside. I'll let it dry, wipe it off. Use it again. Alright. Alright. Turning your page 3 over, and I'm not adding any magnets right this minute, because you'll see when I go to decorate it, I'll show you where I put the magnets. So, alright, page 3, the back of it, you want to you're going to need to cut one piece that is 5 by 6.5, and you want to score it at the top at 1/2 inch. One piece that is 4.5 by 6.5, and one piece that is 1 by 6.5. And then you're going to, I went ahead and cut these for my decorating, but I'm not going to give them to you right now. So you want to miter the 4.5 by 6.5. You want to miter that on each edge of your score, and you're going to add that one on, and you're going to just lay it right on top of the 5 by 6.5. So you're actually building like a waterfall on this. Okay, so you're going to have, we're going to have to put designer paper on the back of this. Then you're going to go ahead and add your 6.5 in the middle, all right? So this is going to lift up, flap open. You got your area for landscaping. This is going to be open. This you will put that down on the paper, okay? You're going to put your pattern paper on here, and then you're going to glue this on, and then you're going to put your pattern paper here, and then I've cut 2 3x4s, and that's going to be my picture thing. So that's, and then the piece of 1 by 6.5, that's going to go right up here on top as a little pocket. So just a little faux pocket up here, but again, I can't add it on until I have all my pattern designer paper added on. So that's the only thing bad about this is, but if I can kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing and showing you what sizes I'm cutting them, hopefully that will help. So that's page 3. No, that's page 4. So we're gonna, no, that's page 3. That's right. All right. So we're moving on to page 4. And page 4. Page 4, you're going to cut a 4.5 by 6.5. You're going to score it on 3 sides to make for a pocket. Okay. You're going to cut one piece at 3.5 by 5 and one piece at 3.5 by 4.5. So I've typed this correctly. Let me check it. Okay, so on the 3.5 by 5, you want to score it at 1/2 inch. And what you're going to do is make a little booklet. This booklet, once you put your pattern paper on your pocket, you're going to add this right in the middle, okay? And that's going to be a little, and then you're going to glue it down, and so you're going to have a photo place here, and when you open it up, you're going to have a photo here and a photo here. And this pocket's going to go on here like this, and then you're going to cut a 5 by 8, score it at 4, and make a booklet, and a 4.5 by 6, which will be a photo insert, and it's going to go right in here. So let's go ahead and add the pocket. I'm going to add the pocket on the right hand side, so when you add these to the hinges, this is the, oh, that's wrong. Your hinge is going to be up, so this is going to go on this side. And put your pocket here. Okay. It's going to go on this one here, but it's going to go this way. So it's going to go on the left. Because we're on page 4. We're not on the back. We're on page 4. I am so sorry. So I think that's why sometimes it's best to mark your pages. Oh, can you tell I'm just not with it today? That's all right. We'll get it fixed. All right. All right, there, now. So it's like this. All right, now we're folding it over this way. So this is going to go on here, like this. And then you're going to have your booklet and your photo mat in here, like that. All right. Then I'm going to turn this over, and we're going to go to page 4 in the back, and we're going to cut 2 pieces. So you should have had the second half of the triangle on the one that you did on page 2, the back of page 2. So this should be the other half of the triangle, and you're going to go ahead and score it on the 2 sides, come back and miter it, just like we did the last time. So we're using the same one we used before. Alright. Just going to use it on the opposite end, so you're actually going to put that over here on this end here. Okay. So you can go ahead and glue that down. Since you have your 1/2 inch sides, your paper will slide right in there on the back. It won't show, will allow you to do it. So, and just line it up on each side. And then you're going to cut a piece of cardstock that is a 5 by 6. And make a photo. Okay, this isn't a 5 by 6. This is a so it's a 10 by 10, folded in half, scored in half, and at the 10 it's a 5 by 5 booklet, and it's going to sit right in there. So that's page 4. 6 by 10, scored in a half. All right, last page 5. 2 5 and 5.5. And we're going to put them on each end. And then you're going to take a 4 by 5 and you're going to put that right here. So these are going to be, and I should have mitered the corners because they're even with that, and I don't want the bulk when I put my paper on down. I'm going to go ahead and line it up with this. And I'm going to line it up, this one up here. And this I'm going to add after I've added my designer paper, and it's what it is. It's going to be a flip up, and then I'm going to have the photo here. So we'll do that, and then flip it over, and this one's going to be pretty easy. What you want to do is you want a 5 by 10. And you want to fold it at 3.5. Okay. And then you're going to cut a 4 by 6 and score it on all 3 sides. What we're going to do is make a pocket. Go ahead and miter your corners. And this pocket is going to go on the inside of your little, on your 5 by 10. It's going to go on the 6.5 side. And that's your pocket. So it's going to go on your 6.5 side. Then you're going to cut yourself a 4.5 by 5 and a 4.5 by 6. And your 4.5 by 5 is going to go in here. And your 4.5 by 6 is going to be the tab for in the back. So again, you're going to put this on, put your designer paper down, put adhesive along the 3 sides, leave this open. So you're going to have a flap that opens up, and then you're going to have room for a photo. Pull out your photo mat, and you can also put a photo here on here as well. And that is the 5 pages. Now you'll see once I come back and show you the walkthrough when I decorated it, what a difference it makes. Okay, so if you have questions, don't hesitate to send me a message, and I will respond as soon as I possibly can. And I thank you again for watching. Everything that you've seen, all products that I've used today, can be purchased at countrycraftcreations.com. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back. I've got my pages finished, or almost finished, so just a few odds and ends that I have to still finish matting and that, but I wanted to let you know I do have all 5 pages finished, so let's go ahead and get started with the cover. I'm going to put those aside. So on the cover, you're going to need your chipboard cut, 2 pieces cut 6 by 8. Our cover is going to be a 6 by 8. Our pages were 5.5 by 7.5. So 2 6 by 8. You're going to need 2 spines at 2.5 by 6, and then you're going to need 1 piece that's cut 3 by 6. So those are your chipboard pieces. So there's actually 5 of them. 2 8 by 6. 2 2.5 by 6, and 1 3 by 6. So then for your cardstock, I cut 2 pieces that are 8 by 12, and then I cut 1 piece that was 8 by 6. So now for my covers, I always score my cardstock at 1 inch just on the bottom, so that way it helps me line it up when I go to put the chipboard down. So let's go ahead and get this cut, or scored, I'm sorry. Okay, so those are, oh, I just scored that the wrong way. Okay, let's rescore that at 1 inch this way and take this one off, but that's alright. It ain't gonna be, you're not gonna see it once I, okay. So I'm gonna use, now I do use my score tape on my on my covers. So I'm going to add them together here by adding score tape. So now I am putting the 6 by 8 in the middle just because I'll be able to cover the seams a little bit easier that way with the chipboard and not leave it where it will be exposed or in the middle of a seam. So, alright. So my 6 by 8 on this one, and I'm just gonna put those together and burnish it real well. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Okay, so now I've got a piece that's going to be long enough for my chipboard. For my chipboard, I'm going to use the score sheets. I've already done the 4 of them, so we're just going to do this one now. And my my chipboard is 8 by 6. So I'm going to come up here and score that at 6. And this is an 8.5 by 11, and so I'm going to take this and score it at 8. And that way I still have this that I can use on something else. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add my tape to my chipboard. Okay, so I want to go ahead and line these up. So I want a 6 by 8. Let's see if you can get in there. 6 by 8, and then I'm going to do a 2.5 by 6, and I'm putting that right in the middle of the seam right here. I'm putting it right in the middle of my 2.5 by 6, and then I'm going to do my 8 by 6 again, and that seam's going to be right in the middle, and that's going to be the back of the cover. So I'll be able to cover that, and then I'm going to put another 2.5 by 6, and then my 3 by 6. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this one here first, because I want to be able to get that right where I want it. So I want the seam of my cardstock in the middle of my chipboard there. And then I'm going to go ahead and come back and add 1/4 of score tape, just to give me my guide on how close I want them. And then I'm going to take this one off here. I'm just bringing them right down to the score line that I put that on, I made. Okay. So there's my front part of my cover, my spine. And now I'm going to add the next 8 by 6, which is my back cover. Sure you put it the right way, go in the right direction there. Line that right up with my score line down here. That's giving me my inch at the bottom, and then I have my inch at the top for folding over. I'm going to take my score tape and again for my spacing. Now I'm taking my 2.5 by 6, which is my spine. So I'm going to have 2 spines on this one because I'm going to have a flap that folds over. And I'm just going to line that up with the score line at the bottom. And then I'm going to add the score tape again here. My trash there, and then our last piece is our 3 by 6. Sorry, I still have difficulties with my wrist. It's still tender. My coordination is not the best still. Alright, so my 3 by 6, and I'm just going to line that one right up next to the score line and my guide, my tape guide. Alright, now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to make sure I burnish my seams down really good again. And I'm going to want an inch on each side, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut them with my folder, or my cutter. So what I do is I line mine up, this chipboard, with the 1 inch mark, and then just take that off, turn it around and do the same thing. So line it up with your 1 inch, and that's going to give you your 1 inch all the way around. Okay, so then I'm going to use my 1/4 again. You can use your 1/8. I know that a lot of people think the 1/8 doesn't hold as well, but for this I do sometimes use my 1/8 score tape, just because all it's going to do is it's just grabbing the cardstock when you fold it over. So your 1/8 is perfect for this. I didn't bring it down, so I'm going to use my 1/4. Okay, and then I wanted to fold these over so I can get my corners cut. Okay, do it to the other side. Alright, so what that does is it gives you that square to cut, so you can cut your corners out. For this side, I'm going to have to do the same thing for this. Since I didn't score it on that edge. So I'm just kind of playing with the fibers of the Now it's going to give me my square here. So I'm just cutting one of those fold lines, cutting my square out. So I've got that. Then I'm going to come back and I'm just going to angle each side right to the cut mark. Oops, I didn't cut this one. And then I'm taking my 1/4 or my 3/8 score tape and just running it along the edge here. Now, you could use your liquid adhesive, but when I find that I add pieces for my cover, I like to use the score tape, I just feel that it gives me a cleaner, adheres cleaner to the chipboard. So. And you can add your score tape before you cut your corners. I don't, because to me that's just wasting score tape, because you're going to cut it off and then not use it. So I just do it afterwards. I'm going to make sure that my score tape is burnished real well. Okay. Now I'm going to pull off all the backing on the score tape off the chipboard. And I'm going to start with this one down here. My glitter glue, and I'm just going to put a line right up against the chipboard in the seam. And you just need a thin line, and what that's going to do is help soften your cardstock when you fold it over, and allow it to not crack on you. So my score tape on the chipboard is actually grabbing the paper here, and then the score tape that I put here is actually grabbing the top of the paper. And then the glue is actually softening the paper up, so when I fold it over, I've got a nice, smooth edge. I'm going to do the other side now. Again, you just need a thin line. You don't need a whole lot of glue. And for where you did adding the edge of the cardstock, when you put that glue on there, it helps give it a nice smooth edge without cracking. So we'll work on the ends now. And again, thin layer of glue adhesive. And I'm just gonna, I need to excuse me. Over to the other side. smooth. Look. So for the inside now, I'm going to, let's see, I have a piece that is, so I have one sheet that is 6, it's cut at 6 by 12. I need another one that's cut at 6 by 12. And actually, being that the book is 6, I'm going to cut it at 5 7/8 because I want to be able to have that room on there so it's not right up at the top and it shows. So I'll take this one and cut this one at 5 7/8 as well. So this is going to fit right there, and that one's, you can see it's not long enough, so I'm going to have a piece in here. So I have a scrap piece right here, and I just need to cut it down to 5 7/8. Same size as my other one. And I will put that on there first. And I want to make sure okay. So I'm going to cut this because I don't want, oh, no, I'm not. This I'm going to put right here. So that way it's not in here, and when I tape these on, when I add these to it, this is going to catch in here, on here, and I'm not only going to have a single layer of paper, not double. So. So, I'm going to use score tape on this. And since I'm using it on the flat chipboard, and I don't have to worry about it, the tape hitting this area here, I'm just going with it vertically. It's otherwise, as you'll see when I do this one, I'm going to be running the tape horizontal instead of vertical, so that way when it comes down to meet this, it will grab and it won't fight against each other. And you can use liquid adhesive. I just prefer not to on my album covers. Now my pages are all art glitter glue, but my covers are not. Let's make sure I got this even on both sides. You can also use your score sheets for this as well. And I'm going to use the 3/8 for in the middle here, just because it covers more. So what I do is I take the backing off of the score tape that's in the middle of my paper, leaving the edges with the tape on it, the backing on it. So I'm going to come up here and match my piece that I have down already, and then I'm going to go ahead and get those in there. And then I'm going to come up here and start my score tape on that one, this one, and then I'm going to do the same with the top. So I'm going to turn it around just so I can get to it easy. If you have any that you don't sticking out, just bend it down, fold it over so it's underneath, and before you lay it down, fold that all the way over. I'm going to fold this one all the way up. And this one I have a little bit of score tape sticking out, so I'm going to fold it down. This one over here, and this one over here. And then I'm going to burnish it on there, make sure it's all on there. And then I'm going to take that's one side down. We'll finish the other one, the other side. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. again. Turn this around just so I can stay on this side. Okay, now we have our inside. And we are ready for designer paper inside there. Finishing the front cover, the inside, and the back cover here as well. For the hinge, I'll show you how to do that. I already made mine, and that's going to go right here, and it sits right at the 2.5, right on the 2.5 inch spine. But I'm going to go ahead and make one with you. And I'm going to use white paper since I already used the other one. Our pages are 5.5. So we want to make our cut our piece of paper at 5 3/8. The hinges are 1/2 inch gusset in between. So what you want to do, so this is a 12 by 5 3/8. You want to start at 1 1/4, score, and then score again at 1 1/4, and then you want to score at 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and another 1/2. So that's going to be 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2, 8, 8 1/2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 8 3/4. Okay. So for just for training just so I'm not going to use score tape. I'm going to go ahead and use adhesive on this. So what I do is you want to, so from the 1/4 you want to go to the second, so every third, and you want to add adhesive on this one, and then you're going to fold it over this way. Fold your 1/4 score line over, and then fold the other one this way. So that's what you should have right there. So that's your first hinge. So then you want to count over 3, add your adhesive, fold the second one over onto the third that has the adhesive, and that's your second hinge. Fold it back over, and then fold this one over. So now you've got 2 hinges. So count again, 1, 2, 3, add your adhesive, 1, 2, fold over onto the third, where what has the adhesive on it, fold this one back over, and burnish, okay? 1, 2, 3, one, two, fold that over onto the third, burnish, fold that back over, burnish, and I'm going to show you. So you got your 1 hinge, 2 hinge, 3 hinge, 4 hinge, and now we got one more to do because we need 5 pages. So 1, 2, 3, add your adhesive to that third one, 1, 2, and then fold over onto your third and burnish, and then fold that first one back over. Okay, now take, this is your 1/4 right here, fold that over, okay, turn it back up, kind of work with your, so there you have 5 hinges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. So on this one, which is your 1/4, that's your first score mark on the 1/4, you want to fold that over and glue it down. So you should have, that's the way it should look. Just like this. You got your 1/4, then a half, hinge, a half, hinge, a half, hinge, a half, hinge, half, hinge, and a 1/4. Okay, now when you fold this side over the 1/4, you're going to have too much paper. So I just want to, you just want to cut that off, and I'm going to cut it down to, I'm going to go to 1.5. So, and then you want to add adhesive to this. To that one side. And you leave in your 1/4. And then you've got your hinge right there. So that folds over like that, so it's nice and neat. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead, I'm not putting my hinge on yet because I want to put my designer paper on the inside, but my hinge is going to go on the, my hinge is going to go on my first spine. So, from your left, so you've got your front cover, your spine, your back cover, spine, and then your flap, okay? So I'm going to be putting it right here on the first spine on my left hand side, and I'll do that as soon as I get the pattern paper on, and then I'm going to come back and give you the measurements. We're going to put a pocket here that's going to hold additional photos, and we're going to do a waterfall on this back part, and for that, to finish off that, and then I'll be back to show you how to do that and attach the hinge. Okay, let's finish up our album with the inside of the front cover and the inside of the back cover. So I do have both the inside, I have the inside with the pattern paper, I adhered the hinge with my score tape. I also put 3 magnets on the flap to hold it, so I put 1, 2, 3, and then I have the negatives over on the other side. So let's do the front cover here. So on this one, you're going to need a piece of cardstock cut 3 by 6, scored at 1/2 inch on the top. I did use my corner rounder for the bottom part here, and then I did miter my corners on the 1/2 inch score. You're also going to need a piece of cardstock cut 4 by 9. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch. Then you're going to rotate it and score it 1/2, 1, and 1 1/2. And then you want to do that on both sides. 1/2, 1, and 1 1/2 on that one. So once you get that, you want to go ahead and cut. So you want to score your bottom right there to where the three to the 3rd score mark, and then you're going to come over here and just trim that whole bottom part off like that. So this is what you're going to have. It's going to look like that, okay, on both sides. Then you want to go ahead and fold your score in, out, and then in again. And what this is going to create is a expandable pocket. That's going to hold a lot more than a normal pocket would. So then what I do is I fold it. So I've got these folded right here, and I'm just going to come up and miter to that corner there, like that. Put it down, see. So I just mitered right there to the score line, okay? So fold this up, your bottom up, and let's see, do I have clothespins down here? I thought I brought some down. Let me check and see where I put them in this mess between all my stuff around here. I don't think I did. That's right, I've got some paper clips that I'll use. I do have those. So what you want to do is you want to fold the bottom up and just put a little bit of adhesive right there. And then fold that over. And then I'm going to use my paper clip to hold it shut there. And then do the same here. So a little bit there. Fold it over. And paper clip it together. Okay. Now you're also going to need to cut a piece of cardstock, a 5 by 6. So while that is drying, go ahead and cut 5 by 6, and then you want to add your adhesive to the flap of your score, 1/2 inch score, and then just stick it up at the top. And that's going to be your flap. Okay. Then, now that these have dried, I'm going to add my adhesive all the way across, and then up each side. And then I'm going to come down on the bottom of my 5 by 6 piece, and I'm going to just put it right there. Match the bottoms up. And again, I'm going to use my clothespins to hold it while it dries. Not my clothespins, my paper clips, since I don't have clothespins down here. Okay. And then I'm going to some glue on my hand. Okay, and then it's going to come over and you're going to have your closure. Yeah. Find my magnets. I know I've got them. There they are, right here. And I'm going to tell you now, because I want it further down so it doesn't close to the edge, it's going to have to go underneath the flap there, which I probably should have put on prior to. So I'm just going to pick this up. And there you go. And that's going to go right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add my pattern paper to it then I'll glue it down and it'll go right there. So for the back, we're going to make a waterfall. And this one, on the waterfall, you want to cut one piece of 5 by 6. So you want this to be a 5 by 6. And then you want to cut 3 4.5 by 6, and then score it at 1/2 inch to make your waterfall. Okay, this is going to be your base. And then these are going to be create your waterfall. And this is going to hold 4 more pictures on it for the album. Now you don't want to miter the corners on this at all because you want them to line up exactly up with your base. So, and then you want to, like I said, you want to score 1/2 inch on each one, burnish it over, and then just line it right back up, right next to that edge, making sure that your edges are meeting. And this one as well, edge to edge. And there you go. So then you're going to go ahead and you'll have 1, 2, 3. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more areas for photos. And that you're just going to glue right up on here. Now I'm going to use magnets instead of putting a belly band on here or a band on here to hold it down. I'm just going to use a magnet, and unfortunately I only have one, so I'm not going to be able to put that on there until I go upstairs and get more another magnet. So I only have 1/2 of the magnet. So, but that's where that will go, and that will be that. And then your pages will just sit right up here on the on your hinges. like that. And having the 1/2 inch hinge, it's going to allow the 1/2 inch in between, that's going to allow your pages to lay down flat when you open the book. So you'll have a pocket here that's going to hold your odds and ends or more pictures. And then you've got plenty of areas on each page for pictures, which I will walk through on the walkthrough. Go over the different places for the photos when I go through the walkthrough. But that is the base of making your album right there. So, again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.